Well, hello, everyone. My name is A.Z. Hubbard with Save News TV. Hello, Save News TV crowd and the replay crew and all of you all out there. We just thank you so much. What we're here tonight is the Women's Empowerment and Networking event. Save News, along with some great partners that we will see up here on the screen, came together and did an awesome job to bring Women's Empowerment and Networking event to celebrate Women's History Month. And again, we just thank you all for tuning in. We thank everyone for attending the Women's Empowerment and Networking event. And again, I thank you. Again, let's talk about our sponsors. We have Donna Four of Mutual of Omaha. We have Strickland, Agner, and Pittman. Superior Clinical Research. Save News. The Filipina-American Chamber of Commerce, North Carolina. National Financial Literacy Campaign, and the North Carolina Black Chamber of Commerce, Eastern North Carolina Black Chamber of Commerce. Again, if you came with someone, please switch seats and sit with someone you do not know, and because we're about networking, meeting somebody new. So let's move it along. Move, if you can, please. We appreciate it. Now, first of all, I want to introduce somebody that is very special, a dynamic woman that has graced us with her presence. I'm so pleased and honored that she is our mistress of ceremony. Her name is Tourette Underwood Williams. Her resume is long. She is dynamic. She is awesome. She is inspirational. She is the type of woman that every businesswoman should strive to be like. She was number one in Mary Kay, everybody. Also, make sure you visit her booth back there with her husband. We want to say Mary Kay is a hard thing to sell. Now, Miss Tourette was the queen of Mary Kay. She is married to Earl Williams. Yes, Earl, I got your name right this time. I called him something else a couple of times, but I thank God I got it right this time. She is the mother of 3, and believe it or not, when you see this gorgeous woman, you will not believe that she's a grandmother of 4 and a godmother of countless others. She does praise ministry dance. She is a senior military spouse, community leader, motivational speaker, entrepreneur, mentor, volunteer, educator, a Goldsboro native, and a powerhouse connector, okay? She's dynamic. So anyway, she also has 35 years as the Air Force spouse with her husband, which is Lieutenant Colonel Earl Williams III. So anyway, her accolades go on, and I'm not going to delay the process any longer. I am going to introduce you all to a few, if you know her, to many, if you do not. The fantastic, the dynamic, the awesome Miss Tourette Williams.
Good afternoon and good evening to everyone. Okay, listen, this is a networking event. And what are you supposed to do at networking events? We talk. Good afternoon. Good evening. Get very excited about being here because what I love about networking is that I get to meet brand new friends, brand new business partners, people that I've never had the opportunity to meet. So tonight we're going to get intimate and we're going to get close and we're going to get to know about each other's businesses. Is that all right? That's all right? Did y'all come here to learn? Did y'all come here to take some great notes and get to network with people you never would have met before? So we want to thank Miss AZ for such an incredible event this evening. Give her a round of applause and her staff. So I'm excited. Yes, my accolades are about 5 pages long. But you know what? I give God all the glory because I didn't do this on my own. And he ordained me to be at this place at this time. And I do want to give a shout out to my king, retired Lieutenant Colonel Earl Williams III, all the way from Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. Thank you. So tonight, I'm excited because we have a lineup of incredible people right here in Goldsboro. And for me, it's about entrepreneurship. How many of you think that entrepreneurship is easy? Do y'all find that being an entrepreneur is easy? Nothing? Do we have any challenges? Yes? Okay. Are we all technology savvy? Is there any, do we know everything? No, we don't. So I am grateful that we're in a space this evening that we have some subject matter experts that's going to help us increase our level in our business, whether it's technology, finances, taxes, whatever the case may be. So I want you to all make sure you have a pen and paper. If you're going to record, please don't, because Miss AZ said we can't record. So make sure your pen and paper is out and ready to take notes. These phenomenal speakers have about 20 minutes to give you some incredible topics for you to take notes with. At the end of the program, there will be some networking done so you can meet them all up close and personal. Is that okay? Awesome. So, how to start and succeed at business. Tonight, I'm going to introduce to you Mr. Esteban Guzmán, Director, Small Business Center, Wayne Community College. Esteban Guzmán, Director of Wayne Community College Small Business Center, has decades of experience finding creative yet simple solutions through complex legal thinking to entrepreneurial challenges. He founded his own practice in Mexico and in North Carolina. He has helped his clients create successful strategies for their businesses and investments in international context. Activity he has intertwined with his fondness for teaching and university life, has taught as an adjunct professor over the decade in different universities in Mexico. Mr. Guzmán works with his clients and their enterprises as a navigator, a mentor, and a supporter, making their dreams of becoming successful entrepreneurs and investors, finding the best education and professional help to make them succeed. He sets goals in long terms, creating a chart with the aid of compass and sextant to keep your business idea on the correct course of success. Mr. Guzmán earned his Legum Baccalaureus, LLB, from the Universidad of Autónoma de Baja California, UABC, his master's degree in international corporate law from the Universidad Autónoma de Guadalajara, UAG, and his certificate to the introduction to the U.S. legal system from the University of California, San Diego, UCSD, which encouraged him to obtain his Master's of Law in Comparative Law, which is LLM, from California Western School of Law, Cal West. Now, combining his two passions, he has embarked in the adventure to make accessible anyone with an entrepreneurial spirit through cultural empathy, knowledge, and skills, the American dream. Create wealth and stability through entrepreneurship to guarantee their kids' formal education as a true force for social change. He believes that ability is forged as an alloy of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, perseverance, and imagination tempered by experience. Please give Mr. Guzmán a round of applause.
Hello, good afternoon. After hearing that resume, I was waiting for someone else to appear here in front of you. Yeah, that's me. Basically, my background is in corporate law. life goes around and everything happens. So I'm now here in Goldsboro. I've been here for 7 years, and I worked with Strickland. We have seen them over there. They're one of our sponsors. I worked 2 years with attorney Bill Strickland, great law firm. If you need help, don't have to go there. They are great lawyers. Too far from the microphone. I started in the Small Business Center in Wayne Community College this January. I saw the opportunity to give back to the community what I have had the blessing of having very easily in my case. I know that being a business owner is the only way to create wealth. And we're in America, the land of opportunity and the land of entrepreneurs. Most of the richest people and the wealthiest businesses are or were created here in this country. I have a little quote over here that says, "Big shots are little shoots that keep shooting." Christopher Morley. I know that starting, owning, and running a successful small business is one of the greatest joys in life. No, there are no guarantees, and yes, there are a lot of obstacles. But if you do it right, if you start the right business, one suited for your strength, one that you are passionate about, one that you optimize your highest dreams and values, and certainly one that allows you to make a nice profit, then there is no telling how far it can take you. This quote is from a professor in business administration. I think it's wonderful because it tells us that being a business owner, we have to harness our abilities, what we know how to do, and what we are passionate about doing. And the business is the one that's going to guide us in our life. Once we decide to be a business owner, our life is on the hands of our business. The question of how to be a successful business owner or a business person or an entrepreneur, it's very difficult to answer. How do you define successful? For some people, it's profit. For other people, it's attaining their dream. For other people, it's helping other people. So that definition is on the hands of each one of you. What is your dream? What you have dreamed about? And what's your aim in life? I see very young people over here and people that are around my age. So we know that when we are young, we have very high dreams or very elaborated dreams. Once we start growing up and living, we find out that the most simple things in lives are the ones that give us more or bigger happiness when we attain them. So remember, if you want to start a business, you need to think about your strengths. What are you good about doing? If you already know how to bake, if you know already how to fix cars, if you are a lawyer, if you are an IT technician, if you went through college and learned whatever skills you learned in college, maybe you didn't went ever to college, but then you are in a situation that you need to start doing something to earn money. Then you pull whatever you are good at, cooking, baking, sewing, making dresses, organizing events, and those little things or those unthought things are the ones that sometimes are the better businesses we can make, and they will make us happy. Now the other question or the word I used over there is profit. And in the definition or the quote I read, it says nice profit. That's very important to have in mind. If you are a business owner and you're not making profit, then that's not a business. Maybe it's a hobby, maybe it's a way to release your stress or be away of your husband or your wife in your own space, but that is not a business. Business is until money hits your pocket. Then it's a business. So we always have to think about profits. But then you will ask me, well, if I want to start a nonprofit, how do I do it? It's the same answer. Even though it's a nonprofit, you are not seeking to make money for you. You need to make a profit to make your dream fly. Any nonprofit, any business needs a constant flow of cash to be able to pay the bills, be able to make money to keep it going. So business for profit, you need to make a nice income, a nice profit. A nonprofit, if your dream is to help others, you have to have a profit. So to be able to do that, you have to plan. Those two words, plan and discipline. When people go with us over there at the Small Business Center, there's the first thing we ask. Have you ever thought, or do you have a business plan? And then everybody says, what's a business plan? We start explaining about business plans, and we give them the information. Our little guide, it's a little guide, to make a business plan is 73 pages. You can find books of hundreds of pages, so that is the biggest, or the first big wall we find when we want to start a business. When you reach for help, they tell you need a business plan. Well, it's difficult. Even if you are an expert, to do a business plan is very difficult. But some businesses in the old days were done without any business plans. It was on the ability of the owner to figure out how to make or how to create that income. And that income sometimes is made through incredible ways. But today, we need to plan. Plan, business plan. Now, how we can start a business? There are three basic ways to start a business. First, once you have an idea, once you dream about doing something, we need to find a way, if you are going to buy it from an existing business, let's say a restaurant, the easiest way to start a restaurant is to buy an existing restaurant. Why? Because the kitchen is already over there, maybe the permits are over there in order, the plates, the tables, the chairs, everything is there. The only question is the business I'm going to buy, why they are selling that business. We have to be really careful, really ask the business owners. They have to provide you with all their information, financial information, and from there we should be able to figure out if it's a good business opportunity to buy that business. So the first way to start a business is buying an existing business. Another way here in this country is very common, is buying a franchise. Buying or being part of a team that already exists and that has proved that it works. Let's do whatever franchise you can imagine, the biggest one, McDonald's. You buy the franchise, they are expensive. They ask a lot of information from us, but they will help us with the way to do the hamburgers, this example, the way to sell them. We are going to jump on all the money they spend in advertising. So apparently it's simple. But buying into a franchise sometimes is very expensive, and it limits our dream of having a business. Let's say you want to bake, you love doing bread, you buy a franchise. Guess what? You're going to be limited to those 3 or 4 or 10 or 100 kinds of bread. You cannot do anything from your own imagination. The third way, and I think it's the most enjoyable one, is to start a business from zero. When you dream, when you plan, and you do or start your business, your idea, you put it forward and start a business and make profit from it, I think is one of the most beautiful things in life. Quoting my grandfather, I'm going to say it in Spanish, and then I will translate it. It says, my grandfather used to say, quoting his dad, el negocio se hereda, la profesión no. In English, it will be something like, business can be inherited, the profession don't. So even if you are a doctor, even if you are a great engineer, in the moment you die, it's done. If you have a business, whatever, or the simplest business or the biggest business, then your family, your wife, your kids can keep on with the legacy of that business, and sometimes for hundreds of years or several generations. So the tips I can give you, or the answer to how to start a business, it's complicated. I think in every case, we need to tailor a suit for every person that wants to start a business. The things I can tell you are always surround yourself with business-minded people like you. Also be part of networks, people that are doing good things for the city, good things for the community. Be part of those groups. Be parts of associations, be parts of churches, be part of colleges, schools. Be part of what's happening in your town. From there, you need to be surrounded or surround yourself by professionals. If you are going to start a business, you're going to be a business person, a successful business person, always surround yourself with professionals. Don't trust on the saying of the friend told me that he opened an LLC and he made a lot of money. Yeah, but what's an LLC? Or don't trust the person that tells you that the friend of the friend told him that taxes are better done this way. No, go to a CPA, not a tax preparer even, a CPA. So what we can offer for you or what we have for you over there in the Small Business Center. Wayne Community College and the other 58 community colleges in the state have small business departments. Our task is to help citizens of our counties to create businesses that create employment for our communities. There are not a lot of funds, but enough funds to do it. You already paid for them. You pay taxes, so your taxes funded us. The sad thing or the sad part is that a lot of those resources stay over there for years or years, and no one comes around to ask for help. We're trying to be present in more events and in the community so people know that we are there and we have resources to help you. Those resources are translated in first, education. We offer a big array of seminars and classes for you to learn all the parts about business. How to make a business plan, taxes, accounting, bookkeeping, networking, marketing, almost whatever thing or part of being a business owner, we can educate you in that. Some of those seminars and classes even can be, you can obtain a certificate. That's good for anybody's resume. Even though you don't start your business, but you went to community college through the Small Business Center and you took A, B, C, and D, then you have a certification. That looks good in any resume. I have been using the word or the title of our department is Small Business Center. Sometimes people think about small business like okay, my grandma's sauces being sold in the garage. Or my grandpa's toys being sold in the church. No, small business is a business with up to 500 employees. So that is not small. It's only the word. Now, about the income or the how much money they are making, there's no limit. It can be $1 million, $10 million, $100 million, $20,000, $2,000. It doesn't matter. So small business, not so small businesses. We're over there, we have resources, and we're willing to help all of you achieve their dreams. Another way is through counseling one-on-one. Once you sign our contract, it's a contract, you become our clients. And me and my team, will help you be successful and succeed in your business. Over there at the center, we have several resources. We have periodicals, magazines, books, tools. Nowadays, internet, there are a lot of tools available. You have to pay for them. You already paid for them. Go over there and use them. The computer is there waiting for you to do research, find out what's the price of whatever you're going to sell across America, who sells cheaper the sugar you need for your cakes, where you can find it. All that information is very simple, very easy to find if you have the correct tools. We have them for you. So you can plan and make the best business plan imaginable. Also, business plan. We're going to have someone talking about finances, and you're going to hear again the word business plan. Business plan is the key for money. If you're going to find a loan from a bank or from a financial institution, or you need a partner, you have to prove that you're going to be able to make money. How do you do it? With a business plan, a good business plan. The seminars and classes we give at the Small Business Center or the core education we give are how to start a small business, financing your small business, how to find customers, basic bookkeeping, small business taxes, and marketing your small business. This part of education it's very important. Even though you're not going to learn everything you need, but you're going to be able to first save money. Example, you need to find a way or a corporation for your business. LLC, corporation, S Corp, C Corp, partnership, you have heard all of them. If you go and start asking the attorney, he's going to be happy to answer you. He's going to be charging around $400 an hour. Yep. So 3 hours, 4 hours to figure out which one is which. 3 hours, $1,200, the pocket of the attorney, out of your pocket, out of the money for your business. If you go with us for free, you already paid for it. It's not free. But for free, you get education, you be educated, you know those differences. Once you know them, you can go to the attorney and ask him specific questions. And then he will answer those questions and find a solution for your problem in 1 hour. An accountant, the same thing with an accountant. If you bring the shoebox, the shoebox with a bunch of receipts, he will be happy. 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours, he will charge you. If you know the basics of bookkeeping, the tools we have nowadays, there are a lot of them. I don't want to name them because it's going to be advertising over here, but we know them. There are in our cell phones, there are different ways to be paid, and those offer bookkeeping solutions. If you use them correctly, then you go with your accountant with a flash drive, give it to him, 1 hour, boom, your taxes are ready. So it's very important for you to take advantage of these seminars and educate yourself in what you need to know about your business. Obviously not everything, but enough to be able to have an intelligent dialogue with a professional. Now, back here, this Launch Goldsboro, it's a program that we copied. We brought it from Launch Chicago that started maybe 13, 14 years ago. It's a very successful program. We're going to have it. It starts March 16. You already pay for it. Go take the classes. It's going to be 12 weeks. We're going to take you by the hand all the way from zero to being able to open your business. There's a price of $5,000 to the best business plan or to the best business. That is, the business owner is able to explain it in a business plan. $5,000. Condition, you have to create employment. If you're not going to create employment, you can come to the class. You're not going to be able to win those $5,000, but it's going to be a very rewarding experience. Where to contact me? Wayne Community College, Small Business Center. My name, Esteban Guzmán, or Esteban Guzmán, whatever is easier for you. My direct phone number is 919-739-6941. Or in the Wayne Community College webpage, I'll give you my card if you want. I have some, back there, there's some cards. I have some flyers with all the seminars, classes, information that you need. Take advantage of it, really. It's an invitation. Those seminars are also very a great way to network. You always, or people always find someone that is doing something that they can take advantage of. Last night we have a woman starting a business selling pecans, and we have a graphic designer. She needed a logo. There was the graphic designer. now they're doing business together. So take advantage. I hope I see you over there. Do you have any question? No? At the end. Well, thank you. Thank you a lot.
Thank you so much, sir. Wasn't that awesome? Awesome, awesome, awesome. So we're going to be doing some door prizes. I only saw one person writing something down, and I took a lot of notes, so y'all get excited. But thank you, sir. Passion. He was very passionate about attending Wayne Community College Small Business Center, and I can definitely tell you it's very resourceful. If you've not taken the moment just to go by there and grab some information, please do. The counseling is amazing. They can take you from step 0 all the way to creating a phenomenal business. And I'm excited about the launch program that he just spoke about. Please make sure you stop by his table and talk with him more in depth. $5,000 is a lot of money, to start to win and create employment for right here in Goldsboro. So now I'm excited. He talked about profit, but we got to build some money. We need a solid foundation financially. And so I'm going to introduce you to my friend, a new friend named Maria Palma. Maria Palma is the managing partner of WSB Cherry Point Financial Education Center. She's a registered Social Security analyst, a licensed health, long-term care, and Medicare agent, a financial campaigner, and educator. She is the vice president of the Filipino-American Chamber of Commerce of North Carolina and the treasurer of Asian American Pacific Islander of Eastern North Carolina. Also, she's a licensed physical therapist with Centerwell Home Health. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce you to Maria Palma.
Thank you, Mr. Rat. All right. Everybody's awake? Yes, right? It's good to learn new things, right? Being a business owner. So my topic for tonight is going to be about building your strong financial foundation, right? Because as a business owner, like Sir Esteban told you a while ago, right, that you need to have profit, right, with when starting your own business. So the concept that I'm gonna teach you today is, when you build a solid financial foundation, you're able to see how you're able to have I call it my financial direction, because way back when I came here as a physical therapist, I don't know anything about, setting up my retirement and all that stuff, right? But now that I'm teaching this, I'm able to practice it, because when you learn something, you need to practice it, right? So anything that you learn today, when you go home, practice it, because if not, then the time that you have spent is not going to be worth it, right? So the concepts that I'm going to, hopefully the concept that I'm going to teach you today is going to be something that you can be able to practice so that it can have something meaningful that will come out of this time today, right? All right. So actually, when you do your set up your own strong financial foundation, there are many challenges that we actually are facing, right? One of those is the challenge of protecting your family. Okay. Because the foundation should be solid, which is to protect your family. Protect your family, especially if there's a loss. If you or the breadwinner, dies, then you have to set up something that will fulfill what you want for your family, right? Which is most of the time is the having a good financial life, right? So having a good, proper protection is the foundation in building a solid foundation, okay? So you need to protect your life, your ability to earn income, and of course your health, right? So, because without that, if something to happen to you, what will happen to your family? Because you start your business in thinking that you're gonna have a good profit and a good finance so that you can enjoy your family more, right? Okay, so the next step is debt management, right? So we need to be able to go from having debt to zero debt, right? And there are classes with debt management. We also do that in our financial center, right, to be debt-free. And there are also companies, if some people that have a hardship of getting out of debt, then there are companies that can be able also to help, okay? And the next one, emergency fund. So whether we are business owner or not a business owner, just an employee, we need to set up our emergency fund. The rule of thumb is 3 to 6 months. Why? Because if we become disabled, you know how much time does the money kicks in? It takes 6 months for long-term disability, most of the company. Okay? And if we have a loss of job, we get laid off, it takes time for us to get a job replacement, right? So we need to have at least 3 to 6 months. But when pandemic happens, you realize how long sometimes you did not work. Some people were out of work for 1 year, 2 years. And how long has been the pandemic is going, right? So with the pandemic happens, a lot of people realize, even me, that 3 to 6 months is not even enough, right? At least a year. And I know some people it's hard to start, but if you start for 100, 200, 300 setting aside, you can always get to the goal that you want, as long as you set it. Okay? And then the topmost part is investment. So we need to invest for a long term. If we have those profits, set aside something for long-term use. Right? So that's the step of the concept of having a strong financial foundation. But there are also other concepts that we need to learn so that we can be able to build wealth. Okay? Next slide, please. So in building a wealth, we need to have money, of course, right? We cannot build wealth without money. Okay? And then we also need to have the time. We need to learn, when are we going to use that money? We need to know that, so that we know our timeline with investment. So that if we know the time, we know what investment or what options are we going to have. And then you need to factor in also the rate of return. What's the rate of return? Is the interest rate. So if you go to the bank, you need to ask how much that return is going to be. How much is the savings account now is giving you as interest? Not even 1%, maybe 0.01, right? So we need to know those if we are building wealth, okay? And we also need to factor in the inflation and taxes, because those will eat up our retirement money. The inflation rate right now, I think, is averaging 9%. So that's a very high inflation rate. So if we are investing to a 5%, it won't cut it. Because if you have invested, it takes some time. If it drops, say, for example, it drops 10%. You think that if you earn 10%, you're going to be at the level where you started your money? No. You need to have more than that to be able to be at the level that you have. Say if you have $100 there, for you to have $100, you have to have more than 10% if it drops 10%. Okay? And then taxes. Of course, if you will use it for retirement, you need to at least predict, is the taxes going to come up or going to go down? Right? How is your taxable income going to be when you retire? So those things are needed to be realized when building your wealth, okay? And other concept that we also need to learn is the X-curve concept. I don't know if you know those before, but the X-curve concept is something that struck me because with X-curve concept, you can see where you're at. So the X-curve concept is saying that you should decrease your responsibility as you get older, but increase your wealth as you get older, right? So here you can see, right, when we are younger, we are taking care of our family, we have a lot of responsibilities. We have the kids, the mortgage, the car loans, student loans, right? But our goal should be those responsibilities should go down. And the wealth, since we are starting, is not that much, but the goal is to be able to get that wealth up. So with low responsibility and high wealth, you can be comfortable retiring. But not a lot of people can even cross the line, the middle line. Why? Because we keep increasing responsibilities as we get older. You know, when you increase your salary, you increase your spending too, right? So that's what's happening. But, you know, it's going to be hard if we don't put it in our mind and if we don't put it into action. Because I realized that as a physical therapist, when I was starting, I earned good money. But after 5 years, I never see my savings go up. Why? Because with good money, you have a good spending too, right? Those credit cards are easy to swipe, right? So, but when I became more mindful of these concepts and apply it, you know, my savings, I can see my savings going up. Because you know that you have to do it if you want to retire comfortably, right? But if you don't, then, you know, you can just stay where you are right now, right? But, and then the other concept that we have is Rule of 72. So anyone have heard Rule of 72 before? Right? Rule of 72 is actually popularized by Einstein. So you need to divide 72 by the interest rate. So this Rule of 72 can make or break you. Why? You can use this for your, like if you get a mortgage or loan, or if you have credit cards, right? So this can break you. But if you use it for your savings and increasing your wealth, it will make you. So for example, right? If you have 5% with your mortgage loan, right? You divide it by 72. That will give you about close to 15%, 15 years. So it means that you divide 72 by 5, so 15 years. So every 15 years, your mortgage loan gonna double. So if you don't pay off it 15 years, if you have 200 mortgage loan, that's gonna be 400. So it's very important to know the interest rate because that made me realize, because before when I had my mortgage, I thought I'm going to pay it for 30 years because that's what's inculcated in our mind when you get a mortgage loan, 30 years, right? Pay off 30 years. But when I applied this rule of 72, I found out that, you know, if I don't pay it off in 15 years, it's going to be double. If I pay it off in 30 years, that's times 3. So what if you can... If you can do 10 years, then do at least 15 years, and you save the other 15 years, and you pay it off to you instead of paying it off to the bank or any company that have that mortgage, right? So those concepts have actually given us as a family a peace of mind, because when we apply those, we can see the changes in our mindset. So we know our priorities. So we're more mindful of putting more money here because of the goal that if we retire, we need to have this amount of money, right? Because at the end of the day, we need to know when do we want to retire so that we can put the numbers in. Because if we don't know our goal, it's gonna be hard. we're always going to be working day by day and not even know when to retire. Because retirement is not about 65, guys. 65 is just what? Medicare, right? But Medicare won't pay everything medically. Even the long-term care. They don't pay 100%. Even if you stayed 100 days in the hospital, then you're going to be out of pocket after that if you have Medicare. Right. Okay. So the next one. Are you learning, guys? Is it something you can apply? Right? Because this can change us. And then some people, like, especially with business owners, when the profit is not there yet, right? It's hard to see where money gonna come from. But then we have to go to the basics. How do we spend our money? Right? So we need to learn how to look at, because small changes can make you big money. If you put in $10 a day, how much $10 a day is? How much do we earn per hour? Right? A lot of people don't realize that if you earn $10 per hour, right? If you want to save $10 a day, you just have to add 1 hour at your job so that you can get $10, right? Or find an opportunity that can give you $10 a day. Because $10 a day can be equivalent to $300 a month. You put that into an 8% growth, an options where it can give you 8% interest, right? That could be in 30 years. If it compounded like the rule of 72 does, that could be close to $500,000. Who wouldn't like that money? Just saving $10 a day instead of spending it to McDonald's, right? So, or even Starbucks, right? Starbucks, yeah. So make an effort, guys, to be able to get these concepts to be able to change our life, our financial life, because we need to have a solid financial house, right? We need to start now, especially if we are starting business owners, because if not, it's easy to get distracted, especially with the busy life we have as a business owner or even as an employee, right? So I always said, because we promote financial education as a organization, so that's why our banner there is, every family needs financial education. And our goal is to get 30 million families be financial educated by 2030 as an organization. So I thank Ms. AC here for allowing us to be part of this event, this wonderful event, because it gets us to our goal to have 30 million families. So if you have any questions for me, options that you have, if you want to have a personal financial strategy one-on-one, our table is there, or we can set up an appointment with you guys. So I have cards there and how to contact me. All right? So thank you, everyone. I hope you learn.
So I'm excited because this gentleman was sitting at the table of speakers, and I asked him to pronounce his name, and I thought I pronounced it correctly, but then he gave me a code name. And so now I'm going to introduce you to my friend R.L. Bynum. Rufus Bynum, R.L., is a native of Greenville, North Carolina, and has been in business for over 25 years. He's the owner of Land Connect, empowering people with technology, a small technical consulting business, design, configure, install, and build networks. This includes wireless network, IP security camera systems, and create a process for the small business owner. They help small businesses to work on a scale with a smaller budget. He is also a lead infrastructure engineer with Truist Bank. Okay, this part. He supports and administers 3,500 plus 100,000 servers across 4 major data centers, utilizing VDIs, VMware, vSphere 4.0-7, VMware, Horizon, 30 vCenters, Nutanix, virtualization, F5 load balancers, Zerto, Rubik backup support. He works with all your major vendors from Cisco, VMware, Microsoft, EMX, Nutanix, and focuses on support and production stability within test data centers, production data centers, DMZ data center, and disaster recovery. Configure, enhance, and operate and maintain stability across the enterprise across all the East Coast to the mid-U.S. for infrastructure stability and production support. Please pull out your pens and take great notes. I'm introducing to you none other than R.L. Bynum.
Well, good evening, ladies. How y'all doing? Are y'all having a good time? Come on, you learning anything? Don't worry about all that jargon. Don't worry about that stuff. That stuff don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? I know we got some IT people in here. I know who's IT. I mean, you can just raise your hand just a minute. Yeah, I heard about you. I heard about you already. I done scoped the room a little bit. Who else we have in here from IT? Anybody? Nobody? Oh, well, this is going to be fun. Well, like she said, all that good stuff, it really doesn't mean anything. You know, it means something to some people. But for you, I just want to commend all you ladies in here for doing such a wonderful job, trying to come together, trying to build your network, trying to build your small business, and doing the right things. But like Miss Palmer, right? Palmer, she said, you got to have that strong foundation. You got to make sure you're doing that also in your small businesses. You can't just be, you know, what we call it, sneaker netting. You know, you heard of that term, sneaker netting. You can't just be just getting by, patching it, you know. You really need to take your time to kind of do an inventory of your whole process. What is the major thing that just happened 2 years ago to all of us? COVID. What happened in COVID? Everybody scrambled, right? What happened with small businesses? A lot of them didn't come back. Why? You didn't have a partnership with an IT person. I'm going to say that for myself because most of you don't like me because you say they charge too much. Well, here's the problem. You need that IT person because you need somebody there that's going to help you work through the technology. They're going to help you with your small business. They're going to tell you some of the things that you should do, you shouldn't do. Now, I know a lot of people like to buy the stuff when they go to Staples and they go to, you know, your Walmarts and you go to your other places, which that's fine. But here's the problem. A lot of those are things that are security risks. And I know we have a young lady that's going to come up and talk to you a lot about security risks, but you got to understand those things are really not designed for your network. They're designed for your home. You don't need to be using those things in your network for your business half of the time. I know, you got your side hustle on, you're trying to just get by, and you're going to do little things, but you need to make sure that your network is secure. Guess what? Because you have customer data. You have your financial stuff. You can't have the same computer that's doing your accounting records, your accounting records and your payroll, and you up there on Facebook, you up there on Instagram. Those are security holes. And what you're hearing in the news now, those things are popping up everywhere. Even our government now is saying, no, we can't have those on our system. So you don't want to be that vulnerable. So some of the things that happened when COVID hit, like I said before, you cannot get some of the supplies that you was trying to get before. It dried up. So guess what we didn't have? We didn't have a disaster recovery plan. How many small businesses in here? All of you, right? If I go to your office and ask you, what's your disaster recovery plan? I'm pretty sure you're going to say, I got one. Okay, what do you have? Is it documented? Is it written out? What happened if something happened to you as the main person in your business is doing payroll, that's doing the accounting, that's doing everything that needs to be done? What happened to you as a single point of failure in your corporation or in your small business and you're not out or you're sick? What happened to payroll? Does it continue or does it stop? Okay? See, that's what happens half the time in small businesses. You're not continuing to go forward. So what you need to make sure you do is write out a disaster recovery plan. Now, I could have put a lot of slides up here, gave you a lot of snippets, but I really want you to kind of engage because you need to really think about that in your small business. Lots of times you don't grow because you don't know. You can't move or go forward because you really haven't set the path for yourself. You really haven't set the path for your business. You don't really have the vision set correctly. You're missing that IT portion because it needs to be there, because I can guarantee you when disaster happens or the power goes out, how many of you get alerts besides getting an alert that your power went out at your home from CP&L? But what about your systems that went down? Do you get alerts from your system themselves saying they're down? This is what happened to happen when you got over 40,000 networks that's designed to work together. We have to get those alerts. If not, guess what? The system stays down. Nobody knows about it. Guess what? We lose profit. I heard Mr. Guzmán saying, if you're in business, you're in business to do what? Make money. It's a profit. But if you can't make money if your systems is down, and you can't have at your small business just, your average backup power script plugged into the wall, connected to your computer that's supposed to be up all the time that you're doing your work on. The number one disasters that happen all across the country now is what? Natural disasters. They're going to happen. You need to get prepared for it. You need to get prepared for it, having a good relationship with your vendors, your partners, your people that you work with. You need to get on board of having a life cycle management. That's what your LCMs are called, life cycle management. A lot of people don't know what that is, but you need to have those LCMs designed inside of your business. Why? Because you need to know what's the oldest computer in your business. Who has it? Who's the person that's working on it? And then you always get a complaint. The hard drive is not starting up correctly. It's just spinning. And then you want to call the IT guy, and he wants to try to remote, but he can't remote because guess what? It's just spinning. Then he asks you this one major question. How old is it? And what did some of you say? It's about 4 or 5 years old. Well, let's be honest. That's not working anymore. That's not even sufficient. I don't even know why you're trying to keep that in your business, because it's not sustainable. That's why a lot of businesses and a lot of your people like your Microsoft, a lot of people like your VMware, and she said Nutanix, that's what she's supposed to be saying. Those are coming up because what they're trying to tell you, because we got a chip shortage. You heard that? Heard that a lot, chip shortage? Well, the chip shortage is trying to tell you is that you better get prepared, because we're going to design everything around this chip. So while all of us are still scrambling saying, I'm not going to buy that laptop, I'm not going to invest in this hard drive, I'm not going to invest in my backup, they redesigning the whole software gamut because they saw something during COVID. They saw that everybody was going to start working from home. Now, hey, guess what we got to do? We got to make money off that because that's profitable. And guess what? We got to make sure these systems are designed to work with that chip shortage or the new chip design to what? Say that if you got old software that you borrowed from your brother or your cousin, well, you can't do that no more. Because guess what? That's not going to go forward. You can't even use the key. The key, the algorithm that's going out and check now is checking everything. So you might as well start off right. Get the foundation built. I'm not even looking at my slides. I want to move because I want to engage with you, because you got to understand that these things are taking place and it's moving faster than you can keep up with it. Technology is moving every day. There's somebody every day making a new design. You're hearing about AI right now, right? AI is a big thing. But if you don't know how to do it, what good is AI? It's dangerous, but it's out there. You got open chat. That's out there. All those things are out there because they're trying to fulfill job profiles. They're keeping snippets on people who are actually doing work. So all these things are kind of now coming to a head because they've been working together. So what you got to do now is understand your process in your business. Know it better than anyone else, because that's what's going to make you profitable. Know how to do your business, because if you know how to do it, you can train someone else. Don't be the single point of failure in your business. Train someone else. Don't be afraid. I know, like we got the side hustle going there, done growed. We're doing business. We're making ourselves profitable. But you got to train someone else. Because if you're out, the business stops. And you got to understand, make sure with your disaster recovery plan that you have backup equipment. Now, how many of y'all got backup equipment? Most people said, no, I just got this one laptop. This is it. This is all I got right here. Well, that's fine. When you get your first profitable check, go buy something else. Invest back into IT. Don't let it just be something that just kind of creep up on you. Because I'm finding out it's creeped up on a whole lot of people since COVID. So if you think about that, let's put it into reality. What you need to do today, make sure you go through the whole business. Look at everything. Find out what you're using with IT, because you got phones, you got everything. These are well, I'm not going to get into that. She's going to speak on the IT security. But these things are good to have, but they also are security risk. All of you connected up to Wi-Fi. I know if I go in here and just do a scan in the room, I can tell you just about all of your Wi-Fi, your little code names you got on your phone. And, if we started doing a search around the room, you'll find out how vulnerable you are. So make sure you got that. Even with your financial stuff in the business, you can set up alerts. Most of the banking system have alerts. Set up alerts for your accounts so you'll know when things are going in, when things are being taken out. That's something you can do in your small business. You can do that simple thing that'll keep you aware and keep you abreast of what's happening in your business. Most people don't know when transactions are taking place. They just see it at the end of the month, and then guess what we're trying to do? Scramble, trying to figure out, okay, did I spend that over here or did I spend it over there? You don't want to do that. So stay on top of that game. Next thing I would say about small business is, partner up with the IT person. Let them kind of work with you. Let them talk to you. And you can kind of set that gauge on how much you want to spend. Be honest with them. I don't have that right now. Because if you're networking, what I found out over the years, if you network with me and I find out you're going to grow because you're really passionate about what you're doing, I stick with you. And then next thing you know, I even changed my financial model for you. I have done that with a lot of small corporations because I knew they didn't have, but they were passionate enough to keep going. And that's the same thing that we have to do. We have to work and engage ourselves with each other. So next thing you know, when you grow, I grow. If I'm praying for your business, making sure that you're being prosperous, I'm sending you contacts, you sending me contacts, we're going to grow together. And next thing you know, everybody is growing. Because there's enough room out here for everybody. This is America. Hey, this is the land of the home, the free, and the brave, right? But it's also the land of a lot of capitalism. It's out here. And it's a lot of it to be made. And I'm fortunate enough to say, all of the ladies that are in here, you will have an upper leg now. At the end of the networking, my wife, this young lady sitting up here in the blue, this beautiful young lady, she will give you these sheets here. I got this from California when I was doing some research on about women in small businesses. You really need to look over this and look at the demographics, look at what's happening around the country. I started with California, but guess what? Because California is kind of like a hub. If you don't realize that California is kind of like the first place where things take off because, you got your Elon Musk that went out there, right? But guess what? He's moving back. He's not just staying in Texas. You got to watch these movers and shakers around your country because for a person like me in IT, I got to see what his next move is because he owns a lot of different things. It's not just Twitter. It's not just Tesla, but it's also got something, if you ever heard of, it's called Starlink. Starlink is a big satellite corporation all over the country. All over the country. It's big enough that it even affect the war that's happening right now. Because the guy in that country asked the question to him, why can't you just give me the data for Russia? And he said, well, I can't do that. And the reason why he can't do that is because he knew it would start World War III. This was posted online, so I can say that. It's published. So you got to understand that IT affects everything now. We involved, we're connected, and all of us in here are connected together, somehow, some way, some form, in some fashion. So keep in mind of those things, and the most thing that I want to leave with you is disaster recovery, because nobody ever think about that until it happens. If you're not planning, that means going through at least 3 times a year, create a disaster within your little small business, create a disaster. Find out how your team actually recovers from that, because you need to practice that, because when it happened, everybody want to practice then. That's too late. She told you when, I think Mr. Guzmán said, or Miss Palma, she said earlier, you got to practice these things. It's the same thing with IT. You got to practice your structure, know what your structure, how it's set up, how many times you change in the Wi-Fi password. I know none of you do that, right? You just keep it at that first one and let it stay forever, right? You can't do that. That's a risk. You got to change it. You got to change it every quarter. Change it every quarter, because I'm pretty sure somebody in your office done given that password out to somebody else. And guess what they do? They get on your network. That's one thing that the IT guy can sit down and talk to you about. We're only going to allow these people to get on your network at this time. Most people don't do that. And then once you buy the wireless access point, most people just leave it just like it is. Never do no updates on it. You just wide open and don't even know it. People snooping you, and you're wondering why your network is running slow, because you don't know who else is on your network. So practice these things. Practice disaster recovery. Practice sometime taking the whole systems down. Bring them all the way back up. See if your team can recover. And then learn how to do it manually. Because the power is going to go out one day. It goes out a lot. CP&L, they're going to do rolling power shortages at times. Make sure you're on the alerts for CP&L for your business. They will send you a text when that happens. Make sure you have those alerts on your phone. Have alerts for your application that you're actually using. Make sure you know that when this application is changing, because a lot of people don't like to put stuff in the cloud, because guess what? Everybody said they're afraid. Well, you might as well get used to it. You got a cell phone, you're already in the cloud. So you're going to have to change your model. You can't just stay on-prem, means that you own your physical surface all the time. You got to learn how to work access to the cloud, because access to the cloud is really what is creating subscription services. And what's it going to tell you about your software? We can't update you no more. Why? You're not connected to the cloud. Like she was saying a few minutes ago, you don't have the key. If you don't have the key, you can't unlock the door. Guess what? Who has all your data then? They do. And if they have all your data, learn how to do one thing with your data. Learn how to make an off-site backup. You'll hear this in corporate a lot, but you don't hear it in small business. Learn how to go get a Synology. If you don't know what that is, I can talk to you more about it after the thing. If you don't know, a lot of people just buy little USB drive plugs in. That's fine. But make up off-site backup. Keep it in your safe. Keep it in a safe deposit box of your whole system, all your data, all your contacts, everything. Take it, put it in the drawer. Don't leave it connected up to your system, because the system go down and get corrupt. Guess what happened? That gets corrupt too. So practice on your disaster recovery. Go through your whole small business. Look for all your old PCs, old hardware, old monitors. Don't get rid of those too, because most people can't see on those things no more. You got to update. Most applications are going to run slow because you got old hardware. That's why it's running slow. It's not because they can't connect, not because they can't work. It's just old hardware. Old hardware is not designed to be working now. And they found out that, like I said, through COVID. So I'm hoping I left you with a lot of good information. I know it was very quick, but I'm trying to stay on target for time. And I know we got a lot of questions that I hopefully we'll be able to get into after this is over with. So practice your LCM, Lifecycle Manager. Practice your disaster recovery, because I want to harp on that as much as I can. Make sure you know what you're doing and understand all your processes. Know your vendors. Make a relationship. Don't just have a relationship when you need something. Start a good relationship with them. Okay? All right. I'm going to leave it at that. Y'all have a great one.
That was very powerful, powerful, powerful. So now, that was very interesting. And I think I have a lot of clouds. And so my husband is IT, and I thank you for giving me some new terms and technology. And really, as small business owners, these are things that we really need to think about. I was just thinking he was going to come up and talk about how to process PayPal or swipe my credit card, but he took it to a whole nother level. So make sure tonight, things that we don't think about in the future, that's very important. And thank you for that information. So now we're going to talk about cybersecurity. This is really great information. Damaris Jackson is currently a senior at East Carolina University, majoring in information and computer technology with a minor in criminal justice. Since starting at East Carolina University, she has taken leadership positions such as the Executive Vice President of the National Society of College Scholars and the Student Government Association, as one of the Marketing and Communications Committee members. Ms. Jackson took her leadership ability and applied it on a professional scale, as she became one of the only bilingual Afro-Latina interns in Cisco Systems. That's powerful. That's powerful. I'm sorry. Okay. Ms. Jackson served as a technical sales engineer and gained experience working under a small business security sales team while perfecting her customer service skills and solutions-focused problem solving for various cybersecurity systems. Ms. Jackson also created and presented technical presentations at various platforms including Google, Decker, and Umbrella. After successfully completing her position at Cisco, her talents took her to the epicenter of cybersecurity, Washington, D.C. This is where she worked for IBM as a brand technical sales specialist intern. There, she created and presented on multiple projects, including one with the CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control. Perfect. Healthy Equity Solutions Overview Budget Proposal in 2023. Damaris has spearheaded projects that worked with federal, civilian, and public accounts while reaching back to serve as a peer mentor for her university for up-and-coming cybersecurity students. Ms. Jackson is an accomplished, young, aspiring cybersecurity analyst who has proven her ability in leadership, mentorship, multitasking, and prioritizing in fast-paced competitive environments while continuing to improve those environments in a male-dominated field. I introduce you to none other than Damaris Jackson.
So first, I want to talk to you guys. I'll introduce myself again. I am Damaris Jackson. Like she mentioned, I am a senior at East Carolina University. Go Pirates! So anybody out there that's a graduate of ECU, hi. It's going to be a little hard, but it's okay. So first, I wanted to talk to you guys, just ask a few questions. I know Mr. Rufus, he went over IT with you guys and mentioned a little bit about security, but by a show of hands, how many of you guys have like actual security solutions implemented within your small business? I'm not talking about just a firewall. I'm talking about deeper than that. Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, that's okay. So you do, of course you do. So like he mentioned, cybersecurity is very important, and it is something that is overlooked commonly, especially among young adults, and even older people, young people, people of various ages. It's definitely overlooked, and it's not seen as something that is important. But like he mentioned, COVID definitely took a turn for things, and that is when everybody became most vulnerable, whether you know it or not. With everyone having to work from home and kids having to be home from school, everybody around the world was going through the same thing. It was not just an epidemic, like it wasn't just happening in one country, it was happening everywhere. So with that being said, that means everybody was vulnerable, no matter how old you are, how young you are, it doesn't matter. As long as it's an IP address, a hacker is going to hack. That's all they want is the IP. That's all they need. So like he was mentioning, when you're sharing your internet password with people, you think it's just something small. Oh, yeah, you can join my network. But you never know somebody's true intentions. Like he said, you could find out a lot of stuff just getting on somebody's Wi-Fi. And to talk about Wi-Fi, just like when you're joining a public network, say if you're at the mall or something, you're joining a public network. I know sometimes you need that service, you need that connection, because I do it sometimes too, but as soon as I'm done doing whatever I need to do, I turn it back off because you're vulnerable. Like you said, anybody could go in and get your information, and if your stuff isn't protected on your phone or wherever, if you're at home and your computer isn't protected or your network isn't protected, anybody could come in and get your information, and that leads to other things. Such as stealing your personal identity. Has anybody been a victim of identity theft before? Exactly, and that is a hard thing to get rid of, especially if it goes on your credit. That can really mess you up, and that's a headache that you don't want to deal with, that you don't need to deal with. So if you can avoid that at all costs, then take those measures to do so. So I'm sure you guys kind of know about cybersecurity or a general idea of what it is now, but basically cybersecurity is just the practice of protecting your critical systems and sensitive information from digital attacks. So these attacks can vary. They could come in different ways. So you have sorry, I'm jumping around the PowerPoint. So you have different types of attacks. Just for example, some are called malware attacks. You have your phishing attacks. You have your ransomware attacks. You have insider threats, and you even have DDoS attacks. And so to go in a little bit more about those attacks with malware, that can just happen by, as you see, the PowerPoint is up there, so that's where I'm following along with now. So with malware, that's basically just a malicious software variant. It could be many different things, just like a Trojan horse, a worm, a virus, and spyware that provides unauthorized access or causes damage to a computer. Yes, here we are right here. And then phishing, you have phishing. I was talking to Mr. Rufus about that. A lot of people, I'll talk about college students because I am a college student. So a lot of us, not me per se, but a lot of them get caught up in these phishing attacks because, kids, we're still kids, I'm gonna call us kids. They see these emails come across of like new jobs or sign up for this, you get $500 sign on, like, oh, money, and they click the link, boom, now you about to get attacked. You don't know when, but you're gonna get attacked. It could be 5 years from now, it could be right then and there, it could be whatever, it could be on your phone, it could be on your tablet, it could be on your TV at home, like anything that requires internet access, it can get attacked and it can get hacked. So if you're not properly protecting any of your information or data, now millions of people across the world have it and you don't know who has it. You don't know who has it at all. And there's so many cybersecurity solutions to prevent from a data breach from happening. Like there's so many solutions, like some are more expensive, some are inexpensive, and of course, the price you pay is the quality you get. So if you want cheap quality, you're gonna pay the cheap price. If you want good quality, you're gonna pay a good price. Like you said, don't think of it as like you're just throwing out your money. It is an investment because if you are serious about your business and serious about protecting your identity, because it's not just your identity, you have customers that you are providing service to. So that's a bad look on you and your business, if their identity gets leaked, because at the end of the day, yeah, you got hacked, there's a data breach and stuff like that, but your customers are gonna look at you like, well, why is my information all the way in India? Why is my information all the way in Africa? Why is my information in Central America? And that's not a good feeling as a business owner, especially like you said, you're a small business. You have to be very careful. You're kind of like walking on thin shells. Like, yes, you're making a lot of profit and everybody's business will and is flourishing, but simple stuff like a data breach can throw your business down a hole. And if you do not know, data breaches are very, very, very expensive. And I say very expensive, I can guarantee you the average small business does not have the means to protect themselves against a data breach. In 2020, the average cost of a data breach was at $3.86 million globally and $8.64 million within the United States alone. So does anybody have $8.6 million laying around? I don't think so. Working on it. We're getting there. We're not there yet. So, and that's that's just an annual cost average, and of course that's for 2020. Like I'm assuming this was right before COVID hit or even after, so you can expect now that prices even increase because of inflation. You got to consider those things, and to stop an attack from happening, it's not just as easy as 1, 2, 3. Sometimes it takes a minute for the attack to even be recognized. And you can have the best experts in your working with you in your company, but even small things like you forgot to set authentication, two-factor authentication or something, so somebody got in the system, or you have a bad employee. That's like I mentioned, insider threats. You have people that work inside your companies that can want to tarnish your name. That's not a good feeling. So everybody in your business shouldn't have access to important things like payroll and sensitive information and stuff like that, like your FERPA data and stuff like that, and like PII and stuff like that. Everybody shouldn't have access to that. Because, like I mentioned, if it gets leaked, that is terrible. That doesn't come just on you as a person. That comes on your business. That comes on your other employees. It's like a domino effect. So you want to make sure you are protecting your information. It's just as simple as that. Pause, think, and act. Pause, think, and act before you decide to do business with another company, because you just never know people's true intentions. Pause, think, and act before you make a decision, a big decision for your company without talking to your employees. Even pause, think, and act before you try to buy a cybersecurity solution or a security solution or team up with an IT company, because you want to make sure, as well as you're helping your company, you want to make sure that it's not just wasted money, because sometimes people are just money hungry and they just want your money and they're not going to give you the product that you want or the service that you want. So that is very important. to go in a little bit more of what phishing is, I was telling Mr. Rufus about an incident that happened when I worked at Cisco in the summer of 2020. Since I was on the small security sales team, the gentleman that was working with us, he basically did a phishing attack against us, just show how easy it is to get people's information. So he impersonated our manager, the one that hired all of us, and it's simple. Just send a simple email. Hey guys, my work email is not working. This is my personal. If you could just click this link and make sure that you watch this video before you start work on Monday, XYZ, simple as that. Now, as a new employee of a company like Cisco, you're like, oh yeah, sure. Not me, but them. Just ready, because it's you got to look at stuff. If you have emails, I know with ECU, they do a great job of filtering out junk emails and protecting you from an unknown sender. So in your header of your email, it says this is from an unknown sender. So if now you go through with that, hey, that's on you. The information be there, because sometimes it be even as simple as the name in the email could be whoever the person that is, but the email is something crazy, something not even related to the person's name, or something not even related to what are y'all talking about. So things like that, that's kind of key giveaways. You want to make sure you're reading the information that comes through an email and really do I know this person? Is this the email that they usually use? But I say that to say people clicked the link and he was able to pull their information and he presented to us everybody's information. I was able to find out where people's parents work, where they live, what kind of car their parents drove 10 years ago. I was able to figure out what high school they went to, when they went to this event, when they went to that event, when their family reunion was. It was crazy, but it was a great activity for everybody to show. It's just as easy as that. Something so innocent that you think you're just, oh, let me check out this link. It can be deadly. And sometimes, because you don't ever know what type of person it is that's trying to get your information. Some people are doing this to make money themselves because they're selling it to the black market. They're just pulling your information so they could sell it. That's possible. Some people are selling your information because they want to, or taking your information because they want to stalk you. It's a lot of things that you don't think of, because I think everybody's just, like he mentioned, everybody's just so vulnerable, and we've just been through a lot because of COVID and stuff like that. So it's just you want people, you think everybody has a good heart, but everybody doesn't. So you always got to protect yourself from everybody. Just always do that. Also, ransomware is another attack that can be very expensive. Basically, it's just they taking over your systems and stuff, and until the ransom is paid, they're not going to give it back. And that could either be selling your information, that can be just shutting down your system so you don't have access to it, just simple things like that. So you just want to be very, very careful. Some of the best practices that you could do as a small business would be to properly educate and train your employees on security. I think that is a main thing. It sounds like, well, duh, Damaris, why wouldn't we do that? But a lot of companies don't do that. And that's not good, because every employee, no matter what position you're in, should have a certain level of an understanding on how important security is to the business, because it's only a few of you guys. What did you guys say? Up to 500 employees is a small business. It's a lot, but it's not a lot compared to these Fortune 500 companies. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure you're protecting you and your employees at all costs. And because just a simple mess up, even as an owner, you could just forget to lock down your system. Or even, how many of you guys, when you guys are at work, when you step away from your computer, how many of you guys lock it? Not many. Okay. See? Wrong move. You want to lock your computer because somebody, you never know, somebody that's sitting next to you, oh, I saw them looking at this, this, and that, or they have access to this file, but my boss didn't give me access to it. Well, why not? Your computer's open. It's free game. They could just go in and pull, and that could end up on you, because they're going to come down, well, how did they get in your computer? Was it locked? And you say no. They might terminate you right then and there, because you put their business at risk. You put your customers' data at risk. So you just want to be careful, little stuff like that, things that we don't think that we need to do, you need to do. Even how many of you guys have a firewall on your personal devices, computers? Not everybody. It's a problem. You want to make sure you have a firewall. Even just simple things that you don't think matter, they do matter, because even if you're not thinking about it, there's so many people in this world, somebody is crossing somebody's mind. And as you know, with all these social medias and stuff like that, there's been a lot of bot accounts and hackers and stuff like that that's been going around. So you also want to be careful about that, because people are watching. It's so many people in this world, you don't know who's watching you. So you just want to be very careful. Also, you want to provide, just like I mentioned, provide firewall security for internet access. So even if it's wired or wireless connection, you want to make sure you have a firewall set up. You also want to implement formal security procedures, like this should be documented in a book for if you were an employee needs to go back and look through it and want to read through it, you can, this is what I'm supposed to do for this. If somebody's attacking me, this is what we have this set up. You need to have a disaster recovery plan implemented because things do happen. Like you said, power outages, systems go down, and if you're not regularly backing up your systems, all the information is gone. All that information is gone. If you're not putting it into a cloud, like you said, some people are scared of clouds, but especially if you have an iPhone, you're already in a cloud, so you might as well just go ahead and get your cloud system set up. So even with Google, everything is being stored somewhere because they have Google Photos. I have an iPhone, but my pictures from my iPhone automatically back up to Google Photos. I don't remember syncing that up, but I'm not mad at it. But still, it's just as simple as that. Like your stuff is easily back and forth. Also, you want to keep your software up to date. That's a very simple skill to know, but some people don't even keep their own phones up to date. But it's very important because as soon as the next update comes out, it's like you kind of want to jump on it in a timely manner because now the software, the version that you're using is vulnerable because it's not really being used no more. They're not making fixes on it or anything like that. They're moving on to the next. So even keeping your software up to date, like your computers and stuff like that. If you're using a computer from 2000, go ahead and give it up. And also, last but not least, you want to implement a zero trust security strategy. So just a zero trust policy, like one false move, you just go in, get it done, clean it out, and keep it pushing because 0-day attacks can happen also, which is like you don't have no preparation for that attack. It just happened. And now your company can maybe at shambles. So you want to implement a zero trust security strategy. But that is, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up from there. Just remember to stop, act, think, and act before you act. It's very important. Stop, think before you act. If you don't know who it is that's contacting you in email or reaching out to you or just asking you sensitive information or even over the phone, don't give it to them. Nobody's going to ask you for credit card information randomly over the phone. So just be careful. Thank you guys again for your time.
Well, I see everybody's got their pens out. That was some good information again, right? Wow. So, okay, we have one more amazing speaker, and then we will do a quick raffle, and then we will have a raffle, about 5 minutes of question and answering, and then Miss AZ will come up and do some acknowledgments and thank yous. And during the networking time, that's for you to be able to really go to the speakers and ask more questions, okay, if y'all don't mind. So, oops, there it is. Okay, so now I'm going to introduce you to Charlene Richardson, All Things Financial. Charlene is a self-taught and highly motivated professional with over 15 years of entrepreneurial and management experience. She was molded into a seasoned tax professional specializing in personal and business tax preparation. This led her to connect with her partner, Erica Johnson. Charlene is the co-owner of All Things Financial, Premier Connect, and ATF Logistics. In 2020, they launched the Premier Connect tax software, which is sold to other tax professionals in need of professional software. They also branched off and started a trucking company named ATF Logistics, which specializes in trucking authority, trucking startup, and much more. By owning your own fleet of trucks and being government contracted, they were able to provide training from that experience. I now introduce you to Miss Charlene Richardson.
So hello, y'all. They left me for last because they knew I was gonna come up here and do this. So my name is Charlene Richardson, and I started out as just an entrepreneur. I quit my job in 2015. and I ain't missed a bill or a meal since. So I've been out here on the grind. I started with the hustle, and some days I still have to pinch myself because I still can't believe I made it. I can't believe I made it so far. And so the first thing I do want to say before we get into the business aspect of it is to just tell you a little bit about myself. I started out as just being that person that I sold waist trainers and butt lifters from a bad experience that I had at a wedding. I bought a waist trainer at the mall, and it was horrible, y'all. I was like, it was the worst wedding ever. And it's crazy because my cousin's still married. So it was a good, the marriage was great, but the outfit I had to wear was just horrible. So that's where my entrepreneurial journey started, all the way back in 2012. Oh, hold it. Can I hold it? Okay, I'm gonna hold the mic, because I'm gonna move around. So as I began on my journey as an entrepreneur, I literally, within my 3rd month of selling waist trainers and butt lifters, y'all, I was making $6,000. Now let me go ahead and tell y'all something. I was working at the prison as a correction officer at the same time, so it was kind of crazy. So once I got to the place where I could actually realize that I had made $6,000, we ate it. Me and my kids, we ate the money. I was like, I ain't making no money. They were like, you ate it. So we were eating out and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I learned very early on that I had to budget the money in order to be able to carry myself throughout the month. And so when 2015 came, I was sick and tired of fighting every day at the prison. I was in there like the color purple. All my life I had to fight. And I just couldn't take no more. I was like, you know what, I got to get out of here. And that's how I started out. It's my entrepreneurial journey. I quit my job. I got into insurance. And from insurance, something about helping other people that just motivated me. So I ended up with, me and my business partner ended up meeting up a couple of years later, and here we are. We started All Things Financial in 2019, a little bit before the pandemic, probably about 18, 19 when we first started up, before the pandemic, and we were like so confused, like when the pandemic came, like it was real, like, so we really can't go to work. We done got an office, we done booked, we done did all of this stuff, we took our savings. So I just kept showing up at the office because all my money was there. So it's like, where else am I going? And so what ended up happening was we started a financial firm, and I started to realize that it was so many business owners that had no clue what they were doing in business. Like, y'all, we live in a world of social media, and so it's so easy for people to say, oh, I made 6 figures, until they get to my office and it's like, well, I think I made about 15, 16,000. You like, girl, it's somebody out here about to kill themselves because they trying to compete with someone that's not even making the money that they're thinking. And so as an entrepreneur, it is very, very hard to get your grit and get your standing. But I think Mr. Guzmán said that, find something that you're passionate about, something that you know how to do, and run with it. Well, I'm good at talking. So I was like, you know what, God, this might be my thing right here. And so so I started. And so with taxes is something that I have been doing as a side hustle for years. I started working under someone long time ago just to supplement the income that I had as a single mom. And so I was learning all the tricks of the trade, like all of them. I had just enough information to be dangerous, okay? And so and so on this journey, I said, you know what, Charlene, you're gonna have to get you some formal training, honey. You're a little renegade. So that's what I did. I took that time and I started immersing myself in taxes and different things. And I was like, oh, so I see. I was real trading on Donald Trump. Like, you know what? I see why he ain't paying no taxes. Like, it's real nice over here. They ain't took no taxes all year, and it's real nice. I can write this rent off. What? They can't do that with no W-2. So what I want to tell you guys is that when you first start business, we got any brand new business owners in the room? Is everybody here business owners? Okay, good. So y'all sound like y'all might be a little seasoned if y'all already ain't that many people raise their hands. So that means you guys at least have an EIN number. At least have an EIN number. When y'all that EIN number is basically like another Social Security card. I know Social Security number. Now I know a lot of people have messed up that first one. I'm gonna tell you something. Don't mess up the second one. So I already know. I have seen it. So when it comes to doing your business taxes, you have to have an understanding that this is your money. And you have to be in profit mode. So my favorite part of everything is profit mode. So once I'm in profit mode, I feel like I'm doing good, okay? So I feel like I can buy me something strange, you know what I'm saying? Like, my first real piece of profit, I bought a truck. What was I thinking? I can't even drive the truck, y'all. I can't even drive the truck. But that's what happens when you start getting money. You say, you know what, let me buy something I would never think to buy before. And that's how we ended up getting into trucking. But when it comes to your business taxes, y'all have to understand what your structure is. Positioning is the word that I want to leave you guys with tonight. Is positioning. I want you to position yourself to be in a place that your business can be in profit mode. And it takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of planning. You got to have that understanding. You have to know what it is that you're trying to do. And when you're trying to doing your taxes, you want to work with either a professional or you want to be able yourself to have enough education to say, what is it that I'm trying to do next year? Doing taxes is all about what you did the year before in preparation to do your taxes. You cannot think that you're going to come into my office and say, well, you know, I worked on my job all year. I ain't had no taxes coming out because I knew I had this business that I could write off. So I ain't worried about taking no taxes out. It doesn't work like that, y'all. It just doesn't work like that. And a lot of times, not only does it hurt you, it hurts your business. So you want to get into a place where you don't necessarily write everything off. You want to put yourself in a place where you can put yourself where you are in profit mode so that the bank sees you as somebody they might want to loan some money to. You have got to put yourself in a place where people say, I want to give you my money to do what you got to do. And so the only way for you to be able to do that is to be able to show that income. So it might seem great, like we have the trucking company. It seems great that we made all this money, but we have a lot of expenses. But as a person that does taxes, I already know that I can't write it all off. I got to leave something up there. I got to show that this business is profitable because why are we here? The purpose of business is to be in profit mode. And so on my journey of trying to get as many people as I possibly could to have an understanding, I started teaching taxes, y'all. I started teaching it to everybody. I was telling everybody, like, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do. So I started creating these ladies. We have about 35 offices, tax offices of individuals that have decided to work under us, and they do taxes. That's what they do. But what I like about it is being able to put these women out there on the front line to give the correct information. When you guys are in business for yourself, I want you to get out of the idea of thinking you the boss. We all say, I'm a boss. I see it on Facebook all the time. I'm a boss. But you are also your number one employee, the hardest working one. I'm talking about I'm still the janitor in mine. I got a whole team and I'm still the janitor. I just don't understand. I still have to clean up. I'm cleaning up. I'm buying the snacks. I got to do the payroll and buy the snacks. I just think it's something got to give here. I heard him say that, you know, if that person go down, what's going to happen? Thank God it's two of us, but it could have easily happened. So when you guys are thinking about being in business, I want you guys thinking about you being your number one employee. And you have to be your hype man. You have to be your promoter. You're constantly telling people about your business and stuff like that. But what I also want you to understand is that you have to be paid. The biggest part of being an entrepreneur is knowing how to pay yourself. Okay? So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to tell y'all exactly how to pay yourself. So as a single member LLC, I'm going to start with a single member because as a single member LLC, there is not a whole lot. People think, oh, how am I supposed to pay myself? I'm supposed to get a QuickBooks account. What am I supposed to do? You can definitely get I definitely suggest the QuickBooks account. It's about $20 for self-employed people, $20 a month. That helps you. You can take whatever you get, your business bank account. You get your debit card. You go to QuickBooks and you put it in. And every time you make a transaction with your business account, with that business card, it's going to calculate it up there for you. I do all my gas and everything. So people say, well, I had a girl come in my office. She said, well, I ain't making enough money to pay myself. Then the problem is you need to go get some more money. The problem is not that you can't pay yourself. The problem is you don't have anybody that's willing to pay you. So we have to go back to that. You know, that's a whole nother conversation. But you have to put yourself in that place. Even if you're able to pay yourself $400 a month. Start with something small, because we know how it is. It can be a little crazy in the very, very beginning. For me, I ain't have that. I had to figure it out today. I had done quit my job. I had done told them, I burnt the bridge, y'all. I told them I won't never coming back. Okay, so I said, I meant that thing. I meant it. I tell people right now, I am unhireable, okay? So if you think about giving me an application, I am not finna sign up on nothing. And so for me, it's just like when it comes to your taxes, you have to put yourself in that place to be in profit mode. The reason for that is the IRS only gives you a few years to be in a negative, okay? Until it's considered a hobby. And when they consider it a hobby, they're going to go back 3 years, and they're going to be like, you know what? Them other 3 years, I'll let you write off all that stuff that you said you had bought. Now that's considered a hobby. Now it's not going to help you as much as it would have. So you have to put yourself in that place that you got to have an understanding of what is this business going to do. And I don't know about nobody else. I like chunks of money. I like for somebody to give me, I like chunks. I don't want nobody to give me, I don't want no commission. I don't want none of that. I like chunks of money. If I can get a chunk, give me about 10, I'll be okay. I ain't gonna ask for no more. Give me a little chunk of money. So what I started doing was I realized that when it came to me trying to get money, trying to figure out where my rim was, my rim ended up being government contracting. So when we got into the trucking industry, government contracting changed my life. I was literally given a government contract for $250,000 per year for 2 years. That is life-changing. Life-changing. Yeah, I was broke from 15 all the way up to my government contract. I promise you I was. Because my business was operating. I had a great business. Our business was doing great. It has always been able to take care of itself. It pays its own rent. It does all things financial, takes care of itself. It's basically on autopilot. But when it came time for it to pay me, it was looking a little shady. So I was like, you know what? I got something for that. I took my money, I took what profits I did have from the business and was able to put that into my trucking business and be able to put myself in a place where I had money that was going to automatically come regardless of what I did in my free time. A lot of times we get into business on what makes us feel good. Like, I'm really good at baking cakes. I mean, for real, I'm good, y'all. Like, y'all gotta try my pineapple. But making pineapple cakes didn't make me no money. So I had to do what made me some money. So sometimes you gotta take a step back. You gotta find out where your vehicle is. I like to call it vehicles. It's a vehicle. You gotta have a vehicle. So my vehicle was insurance. Insurance took me to taxes. Taxes drove me right on over to trucking. And trucking has got me sitting up here like, I don't know if I really want to do anything else. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's got me in that place. So when it's time to do taxes, I don't really want to do taxes no more. Because I know I owe IRS some money now. Now I know I owe them. But what I want you guys to do is I want you to start looking at everything that you purchase for your business. If you don't have a business bank account, that's going to be your first step ASAP. Because if you are commingling funds in your personal account for your business, that's not good. Again, we're going back to it being a hobby and not a business, because only a hobby can be taken out of your personal account. So y'all want to get into that habit of doing that. And what it also does, if you start using outside processors like Stripe, PayPal, Square, those companies will give you a loan. Like, they have no problem giving you a loan on the money that you brought in. So if your company brought in the sales of $10,000 every single month, there's a good chance they're going to say, well, we see you doing $10,000 at least a month. You know, would you like a loan for $10,000 a month? They're going to take it right from your future commissions or future sales. So, you know, you have that opportunity, but you have to put yourself in that place. It's all about positioning yourself. It's all about putting yourself in that place. And then also writing down necessary items that are necessary for your business, ordinary and necessary items. So when it comes to doing your taxes, if you tell me that you do hair and you asking me to write off a lawnmower that you bought, y'all, I can't, the IRS gonna be looking at me like, so you cutting hair and grass? So, you know, like, we got to explain that. So it's got to be ordinary and necessary for your business. So you got to put those things into perspective. But I promise you, if you just kept up with all of your receipts, kept up with everything, you don't even got to keep up with the receipts anymore if you just do what I told you to do with QuickBooks. Physically put that account number, put your card right on up there, and I promise you it's going to calculate every transaction, and it's going to allow you to label it as well. Another thing when it comes to paying yourself, you can do what we call a owner's draw when you just have an LLC. If it's just you, well, I have a business partner, so we have what we call a partnership. But if it's just you and you have a single member LLC, you can literally just do an owner's draw. You kind of want to keep up with it, how much money you took from the business, you know, keep up with that. But at the same time, there's nothing stopping you. You can literally go and get you a checkbook for your business account, and you're just going to write a check from your business to yourself. Everything else stays with the company, stays with the business. I usually tell people to do like a 60-40 split. 60-40 split is going to be what you're going to be needing to do as far as keeping everything on the up and up. Now, if your business is not making enough money to be able to give yourself a 40% split, then you got to kind of figure stuff out. It might be 90-10 for a little bit. You might be the 10. So you got to figure out how you can get your numbers up. So the biggest thing I tell people is, as a business owner, you have to figure out where your money is coming from for you to even be able to pay yourself. Why are you here? The whole purpose of you starting a business is so that you could get paid. But a lot of times, no matter how old the business is, how new the business is, I run into individuals that don't pay themselves. I had one lady, she was working a job. She was working at, right here in Goldsboro, she was working at a plant somewhere, but she had made exactly $35,000 on her job, right? She comes to my office and she tells me that her business made about $70,000. Right. So she said, I don't know where the money is, though. She said, I might have made $70,000, but I don't know where the money is. Y'all, the money was in her office, inside of her shop, because she had a dress shop. So what she was doing was she was taking every dime that she had from her paycheck and throwing it into the business. So that's $35,000 of the money right there. What she was doing was that she was using a credit card to purchase more items to bring into the store. So she has about $70,000 in inventory, and she don't know where her money at. And she's been like that, upside down, for at least 3 years. And she just can't figure it out. She's like, I don't know where my money is at. A good portion of it is inside of her shop. So you have got to look at these businesses, especially if you don't have inventory. That can be a little crazy sometimes. You might want to start with something where you don't have to do so much inventory. But even with inventory, keeping up with how much you start with and how much you're going to end with. You got to know your numbers at all times. Is my time? Well, that is it for me, you guys. If you have a question, please feel free to talk to me later, and you can have the rest of the night. Have a good night. I don't know what people miss it.
Y'all give her another round of applause. That was exciting. That was very, very, very informative too, right? So here we are. That is the culmination of our speakers. And I would like to just again say, please make sure this after we're done that you go and talk to them personally and ask them more intimate questions. Right now, we're going to do some giveaways. Exciting. Y'all, did y'all learn anything tonight? Y'all don't even look excited. Wait a minute, hold up. Did y'all learn something tonight? Yes. I mean, y'all got to give a round of applause for these amazing people to take the time out to come. So you should have received a ticket at the front door. The red tickets. Does everybody have was it red tickets? No. Okay. I just got little papers. Okay. Hold on. You don't have a stub? Your ticket stubs. Okay, do you have your tickets? I'm sorry. Yes. Okay, y'all. Everybody got their tickets? Because there were numbers on the tickets. Y'all ready? Well, I got names too, so it's okay. I got names. Okay, so, I'm sorry? Did y'all get that? Okay. 6 numbers. Okay. So, Miss Vicki, could you come up, please, and draw? We would like to make sure that everyone is visible. And hello there, and Save Newsland. And y'all, this is Mrs. Vicki Mobley, the director of Kingdom Marriages. And we have an event coming up March the 25th. So make sure you network with her to get more information, okay? And so we have a winner of...
The number is 913...
913...
658.
658.
It's on your ticket. 913 658.
Must be present to win. Okay, we'll move on. 913-658.
It could be Eventbrite, PayPal, or if you have a paper ticket. However you pay, that's what your number will be on.
Okay, we're going to go on.
Okay.
The next one we have
Okay, we can call a name here.
Ariana Bynum. Ayana.
This is P-R-Y-O-N-N-A.
Bynum. B-Y-R.
Let's get that first name.
Oh, A-R-A-Y-A-N-N-A.
Okay.
We'll get excited. Yay! Come on up, come up, come up. And you get a choice. And we would like to thank Everest for donating our amazing gifts this evening. The notebook. Okay, she's taking more notes for her business. Okay, Miss Vicki, we have another one. Boom, boom, boom. Y'all excited? I like free stuff.
Okay. Oh, no. The vendors, are they included? Are vendors included?
Are vendors included?
Family affair. Well, their name is on the ticket, so.
All right, RL in the house. Mr. Rufus Bynum.
It's a family affair.
Awesome. And here you go. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And nope, can you stay? Shameless plugs, Tourette Williams, sales director with Mary Kay. And I have a few gifts. So you can make a drawing. Heather Gray. Yay! I'll give that one to Heather. And we have a gift for a female. I don't think any of the guys went by the Mary Kay table. We do have products for men, okay? Helen Armstrong. Yay! Okay, and I do have a gift for a male. Since you did not visit the Mary Kay table, can you give me 5 P's that you learned tonight? 5 words that start with the letter P from the speaker. Only the 2 men that have been here. Thank you for being here for the entire event. So someone give me 5 P words that you've learned from all of these speakers tonight. Okay. I hear one. Mrs. I'm sorry, ma'am. Oh, what did he say?
I heard him say prophet.
Okay, that's one. They heard him say position. Where's his team at over here? And fishing. Where's his team? Help him out. PH, fishing. So prophet, fishing.
Position.
Which side? Position? Position? Is that what he said? He said password? Okay, you're the winner, sir. Okay. Thank you. So now we're going to have acknowledgments by Miss Azalea A.Z. Hubbard to come up. Y'all, please give her a warm round of applause. You are more than welcome.
Well, everyone, I'm hoping everyone had a marvelous time tonight, and it's not over. I know some of you all were fighting me. I don't want to sit with somebody I don't know. Why are you asking me to get up? But I hope you really met a friend tonight and a network and a position that you will be able to contact. I hope you learned a lot this evening. We are going to ask a couple of people if you have we're going to do about 5 minutes of question and answer before I do the acknowledgments, and then we're going to network. Now you're going to have to move again and network with each other. Like I said, shamelessly plug your business. That's what you're here for. Give your card, give your flyer, tell everybody about yourself, how wonderful you are. And hey, I'm telling you, All Things Financial brought it. All the speakers brought it, but she definitely said, hey, I'm going to tell you how great I am. But everybody was fantastic. So are there any questions? So we're going to take questions now. We're going to ask you. Of course, we're filming. We want to make sure that everyone has turned in their video release form. For those that might not have been here initially, we need those because this is filmed for our TV networks. So if anyone have any questions, please come to the podium and give a hand for our panel so they can come up to answer questions. Right. So we're only going to take about 5 minutes. Then we're going to encourage you to ask them individually. But if you have a question that you might think that it's something that several people want to know, they're excited to answer your questions. Questions? I'm the move along girl. So y'all, if you all don't have any questions, want to thank Donna for a Mutual of Omaha. She's sitting back there. Now, I'm going to tell you, we got to give her applause. I do business with people that do business with me, and Donna does business with people that do business with her. Donna is a great supporter of small business. She is an excellent person when it comes to insurance. It's hard for me to trust you with my money, and I'm going to tell you. But, like, let me give me my money. But when I purchased a new policy, I contacted Donna because we do business together, and she was like, AZ, this is not good for you. AZ, this is the best for you. Tell me what you need, what you're looking for. She really cares, truly cares about her clients. So I would encourage you. She's a strong supporter of Save News to definitely meet back there with her, exchange information. Don't let this opportunity miss you by. I also want to thank Strickland, Agner, and Pittman, the beautiful bags that you all received tonight. We thank God for them. They are always a supporter of Save News. When I was brand new over 10 years ago, they were one of our first advertisers, and they support us through the different events and everything that we do. So we're just grateful for them. We want to thank, of course, Save News. We want to thank the Filipina-American Chamber of Commerce. Maria, stand up. She was up here. She gave an awesome presentation. We want to thank the National Financial Literacy Campaign. They're also in the back. Get that money right. Get that money right. We want to thank the Eastern North Carolina Black Chamber of Commerce. I've already thanked TJ. Now we're going to get a little personal. I want to thank, sometimes people are not seen. They're the ones in the background. But I'm going to tell you, the background helpers, they're the ones that really, before I do this, I want to bring up Heather Gray. She has an event that's coming up. And if you look in your bags, you should have a flyer. And it was just so wonderful to meet her. Thank you, Guzmán, Esteban. He made the connect with us because it's wonderful that we network together. So could you tell them about your event that's coming up?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Heather Gray, and I work at the Wayne County Public Library. And I was also a full-time business owner for about 2 years until the pandemic hit. And I still do it part-time. I work as a Medicare broker. My business is Gray Insurance Services, LLC. And I just really have a passion for supporting small businesses in our area. And I won't take up too much time, but I just want to let you know that the public library has so many resources to support small businesses. We have entrepreneurial trainings, we have a dedicated business librarian, and we just have so many resources that your tax dollars have paid for. And I just want to encourage you to take advantage of those things. That being said, I'm working with Vanessa Spiron of Spiron Solutions Group. She's a local consultant to relaunch the Wayne Professional Women's Network. And you have received a flyer in your bag. And our relaunch meeting is March 23rd. The doors open at 6 p.m. The event will take place from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. And it's really a relaunch meeting and a re-engagement meeting to just really hear from community members what your current needs are and how this group can best serve you. Because I know that when you're in business, you can't do this alone. You may start small, but we don't want to stay small, right? So we are launching the network to support you in your endeavors, and I hope you can join us on March 23rd. Thank you.
Also, we have another event coming up. Tourette brought Vicky up briefly to mention it, so we're going to bring her back up. That's why I was saying, no, I wasn't being mean. I had a certain time I wanted to do it. Vicky, could you come up and briefly explain your event? We're getting to networking. Robin, be ready. This is Vicky and Rick Mobley of Kingdom Marriages. They actually let me be on their TV show.
Well, thank you, AZ. Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
Thank you, AZ, for allowing us this moment. Okay, and my husband is this talker, the spokesperson, so I'm going to let him talk a little bit about our event that's coming up.
Well, this is a women's empowerment. I feel out of place, but
Is it
okay? Okay, real quick. Thank you, AZ, again for this opportunity. March the 25th, right here in this building right here, we'll be having a couples date night. It's called a denim date night. We're wearing jeans. You can bring your spouse. If you're engaged, again, bring your significant other. And what we're looking to do is have a date, a great big old date. When you get married, a lot of times you forget to date.
Yes.
You need that date night every week to show your significant, well, like my wife, I'm going to just call it what it is. I tell her she's so sweet, her ears are like cookies. So it's time to get back to dating. Again, a lot of times, a lot of people here probably tonight are empty nesters. It's time to get back to why marriage is the first institution. But yes. I'm going to try to I'm going to slow down a little bit because I want to take over. But real quick, March 25th at what time?
At 6:30, right here at the Goldsboro Event Center, we will have couples date night. Even though we do it individually, we have our own private date nights. Sometimes it's just good to get out and fellowship with other couples, to glean and just learn from each other and just have a good time. We're going to have dinner. We're going to have dancing. Hey, you need to dance with your spouse. You need to touch. You need to smile. So again, March the 25th, 6:30 p.m. right here at the Goldsboro Event Center, couples date night. It's going to be denim, but we're going to be cute, okay? Because we want to look good for our spouse. When we go out, I should have him in mind, he should have me in mind. We represent one another, okay? We just want to empower couples because marriages are in trouble. Mm-hmm. They are. And marriages work. Okay. But it's a good thing to work on your marriage, to stay together. So you guys are invited. It's $55 per couple. We're on Facebook, Kingdom Marriages. So, DM us, direct message us, or kingdommarriages@outlook.com. Kingdommarriages@outlook.com. Thank you.
Thank you, AZ.
We hope to see someone there.
Robin, One thing that Save News, the Lord has committed us to do this year is to do more events. And we're doing different types of events because we were created to glorify God and to edify the body of Christ. And it's always something different. This time it was a women's empowerment and networking event. Now in April, Robin Armand.
Good afternoon, which is almost dark. It is dark? Okay. On April 7th, it's a Friday evening, we are having a dinner, and it's going to be educational as well. It's called our feast, the Feast of the Lord, Yahweh. And it's going to talk about the feast that God has given to us to do throughout the year, and we will have a dinner. So, look forward to seeing more information. Save News.
Now, I normally don't do this, but I'm going to do it now. Are there anyone else in the audience that's having an event that is coming up? We're networking. We want everybody to know about it. Anybody else having an event? Let's give her applause.
Filipino-American Chamber has a festival. So we call it Pista Sabayan. So it's a festival in the Philippines. So we're getting our culture known. But it's in Jacksonville, Onslow Pines. That's on April 15. So if you want to come and see Jacksonville, come and join with us and also network, because there's going to be a lot of businesses also there, like vendors. And if you want to be a vendor, we are also accepting vendors in that event.
All right. And we're going to be partnering in some other things later this year, too. Is there any other business owner or anyone that has an event that's coming up? Okay, excuse me. Hello? Hello? Hello. We're filming. Thank you. We're going to network in 1 minute. I want to give the final thanks. Again, sometimes we don't give thanks to the people that's in the background. You see the people up front, and we appreciate them, and we're going to give them thanks too. But I would like Vicki and Vicki Barnes-Mobley and Robin Armand to come up, please. These are my dear friends. Oh, my God. And they're my dear friends. And, without them tonight, I tell you, it was stressed enough. But I just want a little token to thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also, we want to give thanks to those that participated and shared their wisdom of knowledge. First of all, let us begin with the beautiful, held it together, Miss Tourette Williams. Could you please come up, please? I could never pay them enough. They weren't expecting it. And that's a beautiful thing. They all volunteered to bring this knowledge for free. And there's thank you. Love you. I love you. She don't know it yet. She on the friendship train. She interviewing. No. Oh, Lord. All right. And also we want to bring up none other than Mr. Esteban Guzmán from the Wayne County Small Business Center. We are so grateful and honored to have him. He did a great job. You all sign up for that $5,000. I'm telling you, man, I need that money. Thank you. Thank you. We also, now this woman, I'm going to tell you, I have to give her applause, her roses, her flowers. She stuck, we rolled this together, just through the mud. And she was there every time I needed a question, every time I needed something, answer or an idea, she was there. So Maria, could you please come up, please? She's a blessing of the Lord. Now, let's see. Okay, this gentleman here, I tell you, he is the most brilliant, even though he tried to act like he is, no, it's not me. It's not me. But you saw him. He was standing up here, and he broke some knowledge. Mr. Rufus Bynum, let's give him another hand. Thank you. Thank you. I know you're short next to me, but it's okay. Now, and also, it is so encouraging to see the next generation of people, the young people that's coming up. I was so proud when I reached out to ITSS, Michael, to have someone come to talk about cybersecurity, and they came with Miss Damaris Jackson. What a wonderful person. Could you please come up? And last but not least, come on. All things financial. I've already told these young, now this is another example of us older business owners being proud of our little sisters. Yes.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Below, and I told her, her knowledge base, I'm telling you all, y'all just don't understand. I'm telling you, these young ladies, well, you see one, but there's two. And they are so powerful and have such a wealth of knowledge. I already told them I'm coming to see you on Monday, so be ready. So let's give everybody a big applause. Like I said, I could never pay anyone. They were all willing to come and do everything, gratis, but I wanted to show some token of appreciation for them. So anyway, it is networking time. Is there anything else?